dad was a
Vietnam veteran.
Yeah, so was my dad.
Yeah.
Did he talk about it very much when you were growing up?
No, not really.
No.
He speaks a lot about, I mean, my dad's always been heavily involved in the RSL.
Right.
So he speaks a lot about the need to support veterans and
Right.
aftermath kind of stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not so much about his own experience.
Yeah.
But I've started asking him a bit more about it recently.
Yeah.
I think I've obviously become more interested in it, and also what he's been offered after coming home. It's interesting. We had a conversation about it just the other day when he was down here in Sydney, and he was pointing out that, I mean, retrospectively, Vietnam veterans have been given quite a lot of support now that they're at home. But that came a long time after their return home. And my dad was conscripted. He was in no way
So was mine.
ready or fit or prepared for war, mentally, physically, anything.
No.
So retrospectively, the support has come through, and it's terrific. You know, he gets a lot of support with gym memberships and counselling and things that keep him healthy and keep his mind active and things that he really needs. But veterans now coming home from the Middle East, they're offered a fraction of what those Vietnam veterans were given them. They've reduced the amount of support through DVA. There is next to no recognition through government agencies, as far as I'm aware, of the suicide issue, the homelessness issue. You know, I did a story recently at RSL Life Care at Narrabeen in Sydney. It's the only facility of its kind that offers accommodation like that to homeless veterans. And the impact they're having on lives there is enormous. They are pulling people literally back from the brink. And it's so crucial. It's so important what they're doing there. And I don't know, I mean, Legacy and, you know, Soldier On, these organisations do terrific work, but it should be the government that sends them to war, that supports them when they come back from war.
Yeah, just because there's not a friend of, one of my best mates' brother went to Afghanistan, and while he was serving, it was, any time the phone would ring, you know, she would just bolt no matter where we were, hoping, because he would call home occasionally, and he would, they're very close family, so he would split it between the sisters and the mum. And I have a younger brother too, and I just remember going, if that was my brother,
how
I
would you
couldn't
cope?
even breathe, you know? Like, and just knowing what he went through and what he saw, and no matter how much amount you think you can be prepared for something like that, how can you?
Never.
You know? There's no chance.
And our grandmothers lived through that, and in some cases our mothers lived through that, our great-grandmothers, you know, sitting at home and wondering and waiting, and are they going to come home, and how will they come home, in what state will they be in when they come home, and and today it's still happening, you know, and I just hope that something changes. I hope that there is an increase in the support for our men and women coming home, and they're coming home from a very different war. They're coming home from a war that most Australians don't feel an attachment to. What's going on in the Middle East feels very removed, I think, for most Australians today. And so they're not welcomed home. They're not welcomed home as heroes. And
which they absolutely are.
Which they are completely. And there is a huge need, and a desperate and an urgent need, to offer more support to our veterans, to the men and women coming home now.
Absolutely,